Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name's Cam, and today is going to be another fun video because I'm going to be decluttering my brushes, blushes, bronzers, highlights, and all of my face palettes. Sorry, the little girls are playing outside and I seen feet walking by, and I was just curious and I've been a bit paranoid. If you want to know why, check out that Get Ready With Me. It should be coming pretty soon. But I do have my life just a little bit together, a bit more today, because I did already lay everything out on the floor and I did count everything. I have one drawer full of face palettes, one drawer full of high-end bronzers, blushes, and highlights, and I have one drawer full of drugstore bronzer, blushes, and highlights. I just like doing it that way for some reason. I'm not sure why. After I declutter some things, I don't know if that's going to change. So we will see how this goes. But for highlight, I have a total of 22, 7 drugstore, and 15 high-end. For bronzers, I have a total of 21, 16 drugstore, and 5 drugstore, 16 high-end. For blushes, I have 10 drugstore, 13 high-end, and 23 altogether. And for face palettes, I have 14 true face palettes with all three shades, bronzer, blush, and highlight, all three. And then I have 8 highlight palettes for our drugstore and for our high end, 2 contour palettes with which setting powder and bronzers. 1 is high end, 1 is drugstore, and 8 blush palettes. There might be a highlight in a few of the blush palettes, but they are majorly blushes. So without further ado, we're going to move to the floor because we're doing it just like my eyeshadow palette declutter, and I will see you in a second. A little quick thing that I forgot to mention, I am wearing my Too Faced bronzer, and this is in the shade Milk Chocolate. Excuse me. I am wearing my liquid lipstick from Too Faced in the shade Queen Bee. I am wearing my Amrezy highlight, a blush from my Jouer blush palette, and my sultry eyeshadow palette, if you were curious. So we are now on the floor. I do kind of have a system. I've got drugstore highlights over here, high-end highlights here, drugstore bronzers, high-end bronzers, blush palettes, drugstore blushes, high-end blushes, true face palettes, highlight palettes, and contour palettes. Before I sat down, over here are some of the drawers that I did take everything out of to set on the floor so I could see everything, and a few of the containers that everything was being held in inside those drawers. So I think I'm going to start with my drugstore highlights, and this one is the Pixie by Petra Subtle Sunrise eyeshadow palette. And here's what these two look like, incredibly foiled. My favorite way to wear these is to mix the both together, and that is what these look like. This highlight is beautiful. I like mixing them together, but this one here is a bit too deep for my skin tone on its own. However, I am going to be keeping this. I have 2 ColourPop highlights, and as you can see, I love them. This is in a project pan right now, and this is in the shade Lunch Money. This is my favorite highlight from them. It is a bit dirty. It's been in my makeup drawer for this entire year, and I'm not getting rid of either of these just because I love them. And this is in the shade Flexitarian. Again, huge dip. They're still very creamy and buttery. I like to apply a cream highlight before I go in with my powder highlight. It gives a more reflecting highlight, and I do like the formula of these. They are so soft and buttery, so I'm going to be keeping those. This one here is the Wet n Wild 39B Blossom Glow highlight, and again, this highlight I love. It's just a pinky tone highlight. It is stunningly beaming and gorgeous, so I am going to be keeping this one. Most of my drugstore things, I don't think I'm going to be parting with them just because I don't have very many and I would like to keep some on hand. These two I have from the Master Chrome collection by Maybelline. These are some of the best drugstore highlights in my opinion. Like, look at that. Just beautiful. Keeping that one, which is in the shade 250. This one here is in the shade 50 Molten Rose Gold, and this one is just 250. It doesn't have a name. This one is another pinky tone highlight. I am going to be keeping this one just because it doesn't look as pink as it is on the pan once you swatch it, but it is gorgeous, so I'm going to be keeping this one. This one, however, I don't think I like it. I never reach for it. It is kind of hard in pan, but it is... No, I think I'm going to declutter this one. I never reach for it. It is the e.l.f. White Gold highlight. So this one is going to be decluttered. I think I'm going to go with the rest of my highlights just because I'm kind of crammed up here. So this first one here is by Becca. This is in the shade Champagne Pop. And honestly, I never reach for this one. I feel like it is... Well, no, I guess it is about the same in tone as this one. This one is going to go in a maybe pile. We'll see how I do. I don't expect to get rid of this isn't going to be like a ruthless declutter by any means. However, I do need to go through and get rid of it. This is the Glazed Donut Highlight. Again, gorgeously stunning. Keeping it. I love it. This was a collab, so I'm keeping that one. This one here is the Start Inspired Highlighter, and I had 2 of these, and I recently decluttered the first one that I had. To my sister. I gave that one to my sister just because I knew she'd love it, but you get a pink tone highlight and just a white tone highlight. This is perfect for inner corner highlight. It is a beamingly beautiful, stunning highlight, so I'm going to be keeping this one. And I love Samantha March, so there's that. This is the Smashbox and Vilda Petal Metal Highlighter. I used to love this. Like, this was... I love this highlight. I would take this traveling with me. I would do my makeup in the car with this, but recently it's just not my cup of tea, not blinding enough, so I am going to be decluttering this one. I am also going to declutter this one. This is the only Jeffree Star highlight that I have. This is the Supreme Frost in Money Honey. I did get this in a subscription box. I told myself, like, yeah, I'll pull it out and use it on the eyes. Like, it is beautifully stunning, but I do have a eyeshadow palette with a green highlight in it, and I would prefer to use that one over this one, so I am going to be decluttering this one. I might regret that, but I never wear it, like, ever. So this one is going away. I do have 2 of these. These are the loose highlights from Anastasia. I have Snowflake and So Hollywood. They are both loose. I wanted these so bad, and I never, ever used them. So this one here is what the first one looks like. Beautiful. And this second one here is in the shade So Hollywood. And here is what this one looks like. This one is a... No, if I'm being honest with myself, I don't wear golds. I don't reach for these all that much, and I haven't reached for either of them. So I'm going to keep this one, which is in the shade Snowflake, and get rid of this one here. These next 2 here are from Fenty Beauty, which I have the shades Mean Money and Hustla Baby, which is this one. And then I have this one here, which is in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I did get this one in a set at Sephora, and I bought this one individually. And honestly, if I'm being truthful with myself, like, this is the one I'm going to reach for. I'm never going to reach for this one because I don't wear these like taupey gold shades, but so I'm gonna put this one, the Hustle Baby and Mean Money, in the maybe pile because I don't know if I'm ready to part with it yet, just because it is Fenty Beauty and I really love like practically everything from her line. So I am gonna keep this one for sure in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. Here is a very easy for me. This is going to be decluttered. This is the Queen Drip. I bought a whole bunch of stuff from her website and I just never reach for this shade. So this one is going to be decluttered. This one here is not going anywhere. This is the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3 by Juvia's Place, and it is just, are you ready for this? It is beautifully stunning, a metallic white gold, and this one is not going anywhere. This one here is currently in a project pan. I'm trying to hit pan. I've made a huge dip in it, and this one is in the shade Moonstone. And I honestly really like this one compared to Champagne Pop. Champagne Pop is a bit deeper. I have decluttered a few more of the, I had 2 more that I have decluttered in the past, so I am going to be keeping Moonstone. This one here is in the shade Sandcastle from Fenty Beauty. This is the Kilowatt Foil, and again, I got this one in a set, and I don't know if I'd use it as a highlight, but this on the lids is just so beautiful, and I feel like you can sheer this out very nice, but I am going to be keeping this for maybe to put in my eye drawer as like a single shadow, because it is a mini and it's not that large. This one here is not going anywhere. This is the Worth the Wait highlight. I was wearing this yesterday. Oh my goodness freaking gracious. Like, this one from Tribe is more of a cool tone. This one is more of a gold tone, and I just love the way this looks on my skin. Oh, I love it. Not going anywhere. This one here is the Milk Makeup Highlighter. It is a stick. Again, I think I got this either in a subscription box or as a point perk, and I never ever reach for this. This is going in the declutter pile. This highlight here is in the shade Starstruck from Fenty Beauty. Again, another cream highlight. I don't know. I think I'm going to put this in the maybe pile for right now, just because I don't really know. This one here is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy palette. I have used the heck out of this, and this is not going anywhere. This is one of the only golds that I reach for, because I feel like it is not a insanely gold, but it is really gold. So I really do like this one. And yep, the Amrezy highlighter. This one I just got in a BoxyCharm. This is the Hourglass Highlight, and oh, there it is. It's in the shade Bronze Flash. It is a bit deep for me, but I think I'm going to keep it just because it's Hourglass, and like using this, like shearing it out on the body, I think would be beautiful. Kind of a stupid reason, but I don't have very many body highlights, so I think I am going to be keeping this one. These two here, I was keeping this one for so long. I did get it at TJ Maxx, so I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. But I keep saying, yeah, I'm going to use this as a eyeshadow topper, and I just never do. And my sister goes to raves in that all the time, so I think I'm just going to give this to her. I never use it. I never reach for it, so this one is going to be decluttered. This one here is the Celestial Liquid Drops from Cover FX, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my arm here. I never really reach for this, but after I dull down my collection a bit, I might. Like, it is beautifully stunning. Like, put that all over the body. It is gorgeous, and I did I don't know, I'm gonna keep this one for right now. I did have 2 and I decluttered my other one, so I just want to keep this one for right now. I have the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. I am a person who does not like the smell of this. I don't like it, but it is a gorgeous bronzer, so I think I'm going to be keeping this one. Both of these from Ulta Beauty are just beautiful. This one is the matte bronzer. I got it as a freebie when I bought some Ulta stuff, and then this is the matte bronzer in the shade Cool from Ulta Beauty. Again, I don't think this one is going anywhere. I like both of them. I like the formula. I don't have very many drugstore. I know it's not technically drugstore, but it is kind of at a drugstore price tag, so I'm going to keep those 2. My Milani Bronzer, I don't have to say anything about this bronzer. It is not going anywhere. It is a cool tone bronzer, and I really do like it. I know they're all going to look the same. And this is the Dulce de Leche Duo Mega Glow from Wet n Wild, and this one has a setting powder. I don't really use all that much, but this bronzer is beautiful. It is a whole lot deeper than the rest of the ones I have, so I do want to keep this one around. Okay, now the fun part. High-end bronzers. I love bronzers, I love blush, and I love highlight. I love all 3. I don't know, but I'm a highlight freak. I'm a bronzer freak. I just love them. Starting with the one I'm wearing today. This is the milk chocolate one. I really like the way this looks on my skin. I've used it quite a bit, so I am going to be keeping this one. This Bobbi Brown like Shimmer Brick in the shade Bronze. I did get this in an Ipsy like I was living in my apartment, so years and years and years ago. But when I mix all of these shades together, like the look it gives my skin is just stunning. I really love it. This is also in a project pan, not going anywhere. This bronzer right here from Sephora is the Claire Light bronzer. Again, not going anywhere. I really like this bronzer. I like the formula. Keeping that. Now I have two Anastasia bronzers. I have the shade Rich Amber and I have the shade Rosewood. Let me swatch these so I can get tones of them. I know I'm going to declutter one of them because I don't need both in my collection. Okay, so originally I thought I was going to get rid of the darker one, which is this one in the shade Rich Amber. I bought these and I don't think I've ever used them on my face. However, I like the undertone of this one just a little bit more because this one pulls like a whole lot warmer. Let's do another pass of both of them. Like it is a bit darker, but this one has a red undertone and I don't like red undertone bronzers on my skin. I just think they make me look sick, so I think I'm gonna keep this one. I might declutter this one in the future if I don't use it, but I'm gonna keep this one and declutter this one in the shade Rosewood just because. Yeah, actually no, I'm gonna come back to it because I don't know which one I want to keep, so we're gonna come back to that. I have two Fenty Beauty bronzers here in the shade Private Island and In the Sun. In the Sun is one of my favorites. You can see the ring. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a ring surfacing on here. So here's what this one looks like. It is beautifully light, cool toned. And this one in the shade Private Island, haven't used as much, but I really do like the formula. So oh man, I'm keeping both of these. I love the formula. Staying with me. This next one here is in the shade, or from the Balm. Again, a very nice cool tone bronzer in the shade Oliver, if I'm not mistaken. Anti-orange bronzer in the shade Oliver. Yep, so this is my Oliver bronzer, not going anywhere. I got this when I was visiting my grandparents. Staying in my collection. This one is brand new to my collection. This is the Hula Light, and I really wanted to try this one after, who was it? LA Blinds was talking about it, so keeping this one. I'm not doing so well in the bronzer category, but I have two from Kylie Cosmetics. I have the shades Tequila Tan, and I also have the shade Khaki, and here's what these two look like. I will swatch both of them for you. I feel like these were pressed really hard in the pan and you can't get a whole lot of product out of them. Honestly, I've had such a big problem. I don't want to get rid of them because I spent money on them, but I have a bronzer that I love in this eyeshadow palette, or this face palette here, that I like, and I never really reach for these, so both of these are going to be decluttered. I guess I'm just getting rid of all of my Kylie Cosmetics stuff, which I guess so well. But I have the shades Khaki and Tequila Tan. Khaki, I don't really... I know I want to get rid of Khaki. Oh, no. Khaki, I'm definitely getting rid of. No, I never reach for these. These are going in the declutter pile. I never reach for them. They're going away. This right here is in the Huda Beauty Tantor Contour and Bronze Cream in the shade Fair. This is not going anywhere. There is a huge dip in there. I only have one cream bronzer, and I love this one formula-wise, so I'm keeping that one. This right here is the Tarte Tarteist Pro Glow. This, again, was back when I was in my apartment, and I don't like these highlights, like, at all. This one is way too yellow. That one is not blinding enough for me, and this bronzer is, again, just stunning. I am going to... I never reach for this, but I'm not going to get rid of it just because it's, like, makeup memories of mine. I'm going to declutter this out of my collection and put it in my makeup memories box, but it's not leaving my collection just because I cherish this thing when I was living in my apartment. So this is going not in my collection, but in my memories box. So this is also being cluttered. I have my River Bronzer from Samantha March. Not my favorite color, not my favorite formula, but I still really like Samantha March and I want to support her. So I'm going to be keeping this just because when I want to do like a collab, like not necessarily a collab, or like a video that she does and I want to remake it for myself, I can reach this out and say, oh yeah, I'm wearing all my Samantha March stuff. So I'm going to be keeping this one. This bronzer is beautiful. It's the Jouer light to medium bronzer duo, and normally I just mix both of these together, so that's what I'll do, swatching it for you. I guess you can't even tell. You can even see like the imprint is going away, but it is just a stunning, stunning bronzer. I really love it. This is my Marc Jacobs Tan Tastic bronzer. Again, not going anywhere. I spent a very pretty penny on this. The tone of this is just gorgeous, staying in my collection. And now let's move on to blush palettes before we move on to our like single blushes. Sorry, I had to shift. My back is starting to hurt from sitting on the floor. This is my blush trio from Anastasia. I got this one at TJ Maxx. This is the Pink Passion. I really love these blushes. I love the tones. I love the formula. I love the blendability of these. So this one is staying in my collection. My Olimar Cosmetics blush palette. I did get this one in a boxy charm. I don't really have very many warm tone blushes in my collection, and I really, really, really do love these. And this shade right here is beautiful. Like these orange shades, they're just stunning when I'm going for like a warm tone look. So this is definitely staying in my collection. This palette here, it all depends on the colors. Like I do like the e.l.f. formula. I have some singles by e.l.f. and I really do love them. Okay, so this deepest shade, I know I won't use. I kind of like this one. That one is all right, but I don't think I'll reach for it. And this one is too pink, so I think I'm just going to declutter this out of my collection. I kind of want to keep it, but I know I won't reach for it, so that is going in the declutter pile. This right here is the Ulta Beauty blush palette. Let's see what these four look like. They look promising. Ooh, that is a beautiful punchy shade. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of this one. Okay, no, I think I'm going to keep this one. This shade looks beautiful. This shade would be a beautiful blush topper or shimmery blush. This shade's beautiful. This one's a little too pink for my liking, but if I want to do like a Barbie doll baby pink, I think having one in my collection is not the end of the world, and this one in this shade would do pretty well. That shade and that shade would do pretty well. These two shades, this one is just a little bit shimmery and that one's got matte with speckles in it, so they're kind of dupes, not really, but kind of. So I'm gonna keep this one. I have two blush palettes from NARS. This is the NARS blush palette. This nude shade is beautiful. This highlight I can live without. It's all right, but it's not stunning. These like muted shades here are beautiful, and I am keeping this because I don't have any single NARS blushes. This one here is in the shade, or in the Expose. This is kind of like a bronzer. This is kind of like a highlight. So I guess this could go in the face palette. Like that highlight is kind of stunning. This corally shade is stunning. These two deeper shades, this nude shade, like I feel like you can mix these two with these nude shades and get a completely different blush. Like they look similar in the pan, but after you swatch them, they are completely different. Like this one's more burgundy and that one has a bit more pink. They are both deep, but I'm keeping this, and the packaging is just stunning if you look at that. And then my two Jouer blush palettes. I did just get this in the, I filmed it, but I deleted it because I didn't like the footage. This is the Rose Cut Gems blush palette. This highlight is trash, if you ask me. Like it's just, I don't like these glittery type of formulas, and it kind of blends out to nothing on my skin. I normally stick to these sides, but again, another baby doll pink. But I'm keeping both of these just because I love it. The reason I bought this one is because I love this one so much. Again, you get an orange blush, a nude blush, like a burgundy blush, like some of these blushes. Like the formula is great. Pigment is there. Start slow with these. Start very, very slow. But I really do like these palettes. So these ones are staying. Let's go to my drugstore blushes. This one here is from Ulta. It was another freebie. You get the shade Cherry Blossom and Walnut. Cherry Blossom is beautiful, but I feel like I can get this with something else. Walnut is all right, but again, I can dupe it. So this is being decluttered. This one here is the Peach and Glow I Heart Revolution. And again, you get like a peachy highlight and a blush. I'm digging the warm tones lately, so I think I'm going to hold on to this for a little bit longer. My two Milani blushes, I have Dulce Pink and Luminoso. Again, cult favorites here on YouTube. I don't have very many warm tones, so I'm going to keep this Luminoso for sure, but I need to swatch this one and see what this looks like because I don't wear pinks all that often. I don't have, ooh, I dropped the brush. I don't have very many drugstore blushes, so I think I'm just going to keep this one. This was $1 at ADA. ADA Studio. This is their blush in 93 Ravish. And here's what this one looks like. Let's swatch it right here. It is a bit warmer tone, and I obviously like warmer tone blushes, so this one is staying. Plus, it was only $1. So my two Essence blushes are not going anywhere. I love these. I have these shades. All You Need Is Pink 20, which is like a very, very light pink. Get the rest of those off my hand. And then this one here is in the shade 40, the Berry Connection, which is a berry blush. Not as much used as the other one, but I do really like these, so I'm going to be keeping both of them. This one here is the Milani blush in the shade Tea Rose number 8. A very nice nude, simple option, so I'm going to be keeping these. And my two L singles, which is why I felt okay decluttering that eyeshadow palette, are the blush palette. I have the shades Always Cheeky, which is more of a nude. These are very pigmented and very putchy. This is my favorite of the two. And I also have Always Rosy. You can see Henry. Hey, baby. What you doing, handsome? Yeah, what you doing? Which is more of a berry tone, and I really like both those tones, so I'm going to keep that one. This one here on top is my Kylie blush in the shade Baddie on the Block. This is a duplicate from in this eyeshadow palette, but I do really, really like this blush, so I'm going to be keeping this at least for right now. This one here is in the shade Kitten Baby, and again, I know you want attention, but I got stuff all over me. I think I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile for right now. I don't know. I did declutter all the rest of my Kylie stuff, but I'm not sure. This is my Chiclet bronzer, not going anywhere. I love Samantha March. I want to support her, and again, I want to keep this, so I'm keeping. My high-end blushes. So I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of any. Actually, no, I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is the Milk Makeup Flare Glow Oil Lip and Cheek. So this is in the shade Flare, and swatching it for you, there's like barely anything there. Not my cup of tea, so decluttering that one. This is the Natasha Denona Diamond and Glow. This baby pink is like my favorite baby pink ever, so I will be keeping this mini guy. I have two Cover FX eyeshadow palettes. I have the Spice Cinnamon and the Mauve Mauve. So this is the Mauve Mauve, and I don't reach into these as much as I thought I was going to, but here's what those look like. So I think I'm going to keep this one, and then this is the Spiced Cinnamon, which is a very, very, very deep blush. I don't know. Let's see what the swatches look like. I'm gonna keep this just because I spent a lot of money on it. I haven't used it a whole lot, so it might be decluttered in my next declutter, but for right now, I'm gonna be keeping it. This is a blush I got in my BoxyCharm. This is in the shade Fire Dragon from Becca Cosmetics, and this one is really stunning. I don't know, I really like this when I'm going for like a red look or a pink look. This just makes my eyes pop, so I really like this one. This one is staying. I have two blushes from Fenty Beauty. I have Pink Lemonade, which is this one here. That's what that one looks like, if you can see it. I know my lights kind of wash me out, but that's what that one looks like. And this next one here is in the shade Yacht Life, which is more warm toned. And I think I'm going to keep both of these just because I want to. So I'm going to keep both of these. It's my collection. You can't make me. So, and then I have a Cargo Blush. This was the first blush that I have. I'm going to continue to use this just because I think it is beautifully stunning, and I love the way my cheeks looks when I am wearing this blush. So I'm going to be keeping this, and when I declutter it, it will go into my Makeup Memories box. So that I'm keeping. This is the Tarte Peaceful blush. I don't have any other Tarte blushes, and I think I'm decluttering my eyeshadow or my face palette, so I'm going to be keeping this one. And then this is the Golden Hour Sephora blush in the shade, it is in the shade One Dusk. So this one I love to use as a topper, so I'm going to be keeping that one for just a little bit longer. Okay, so we're going to start with something easy. These two palettes here, I have the KVD. I know it's not Kat Von D anymore, it's KVD now. But I'm going to keep these because I do like these two bronzers, and these setting powders aren't bad, and I don't have another contour palette, so I'm going to be holding on to that. And I'm also going to be holding on to my drugstore version. It is a BH Studio Pro. I've hit pan in here. I'm about to hit pan in both of these, and once these three bronzers are gone, I'm probably going to declutter this whole palette, and this is like perfect for my skin. I love it. You have a whitening shade, like colors I could use on my face, and bronzer, so this is staying as well. Okay, now my highlighting palettes, I have a stack of drugstore and a stack of high-end, and this is the palette I mentioned earlier, again from KVD. This is the Alchemist Holographic palette, and there is a green, purple, opal, and blue, or so pink, blue, purple, and green. I'll swatch all four of these just because I want to. So again, you have a whole bunch of green, purple, blue, and pink, different holographic. And if I want to do a holographic highlight, I have it here. So keeping this. This was a pretty penny, and the packaging is just stunning. I wish she would have like cut it off right here though and got rid of that, but I'm keeping this just because I spent a very large amount of money on it. This is my MAC Real Glow. This is the lightest one. These highlights are just stunning. These two are my favorite in the entire eyeshadow palette. Just look at that. They are freaking gorgeous. So I'm keeping this. And again, my Ofra Glow Up highlight palette. I love this. This is a huge pan, so you can get like into these individual shadows perfectly well. I might depot these and put these into a Z palette eventually just because I love them so much. But these two I don't really use. But those two I do, so keeping this. Hey, baby. My drugstore palette. So first off, my Rach Loves Pixie. Not going anywhere. This is my favorite shade. I really wish they would have switched these two. But that's all right. Or made like this one just a long strip across the top. But I know she was very like this is what she wanted because I watched her whole reveal video. But I love this staying with me. This one right here is the Milani No. 3 Rose Gold eyeshadow palette. I don't really use this one, but I use these two. My favorite thing to do is mix the two together, but they are beautifully stunning and reflective, so I'm going to be keeping this. Now this next two, I don't know. So here's what these two look like. I want to see if I can dupe these shades in this palette. Okay, like those are pretty similar. Those are pretty similar. Those are pretty similar. And okay, like I can dupe this whole palette, not exactly, like these two aren't exact, but those two are damn near close. Those two are really close, and those two are really close, and the formula is basically the same. And I like Soph X. She just changed from Soph Does Nails to Soph Does Life recently, so I'm gonna keep this one, and I'm going to declutter this one just because they're basically the same. So I'm going to get rid of that one. Now, the fun part. I know I'm gonna be getting rid of some of these, so let's start with the ones I know I'm going to be keeping. This Bare Minerals Bare Glow Face Palette, I love. This bronzer, perfect. This blush, perfect. This highlight is not necessarily, like, I don't really like golds, but it is beaming and beautiful, so I am going to keep this. I really, really enjoy using this, and it's perfect for travel because you get all three. Both of my Benefit palettes I will be keeping. This highlight shade in Cookie, perfect. It's like taken YouTube by surprise. And the only repeating shades I have in both of these is Hula, because I have a Hula here, a Hula here. And otherwise I have Gold Rush, Coralista, Cookie, Hula Caramel, Dandelion, Dallas, California, Tickle, and Hula again. So again, only one repeating shade, so I'm going to be keeping both of these. Again, they were $60, and I'm keeping both of those. This one is a favorite of mine. This is the Kylie Jenner. Again, Baddie on the Block is a blush that I have a single of, and I'm keeping because I love it. These two highlights are, again, incredibly stunning. This Toasty bronzer is my favorite, which is why I felt comfortable getting rid of the other two bronzers I had from her. So I'm going to be keeping this. And again, these highlights are much better than the other highlight that I have. So again, I felt I could get rid of this or get rid of the other highlight. This is my Hourglass face palette. This is the Ambient Lighting palette. And here is what this one looks like. This bronzer is just beautiful. These two blushes mixed together alone is beautiful. Two finishing powders and one highlight. Again, not going anywhere. One of my favorite palettes, face palettes for the longest time, was the Becky, Chloe, and Malika bronzer, two blushes, and a highlight. This highlight is all right, but it is not my favorite. Like, it is, you can get it blinding, but you got to work with it a little bit. But these two blushes are stunning, like just stunning. And this bronzer is beautiful. I love this. So keeping that. My singles, again, I just did a declutter going through all of these, and I'm going to keeping, I have some Tarte, I've got some The Balm, I've got some Too Faced, some Mud Makeup. Is this an Anastasia? No, that one's not. These two shades right here are from my contour kit from Anastasia. Actually, these three shades. This I got in like a subscription box. I don't know where it came from, but I'm keeping that. And I believe I'm keeping this one because I love this for the longest time. Like, this bronzer is just beautiful. These highlights I got to mix together, and this brightener, I don't even know what the heck that's supposed to do. But this blush, again, I don't really wear blushes like this all that often, but when I do want a baby pink look, I have it. So I do like this one. Now, these three, I believe I'm getting rid of all three of them. This is the Sephora Snow Glow. The bronzer's all right. The highlights are meh. And this blush, I really don't use shades like this. And I have others like it in my collection, so that can go. This one right here is the Tarte Pro Glow. The bronzers, I have bronzers from Tarte in that single palette that I like better than these. These two highlights, they're all right, but they're not what I need out of a highlight. So that's gonna go. And these two blushes, they're all right, but again, tones that I have, this berry tone I'll use, and this pink tone I won't use. So that's gonna go. And this one from Too Faced, I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I never reached for it, ever. So this is going to go as well. And these palettes right here, this one's gonna stay because you get a bronzer, blush, and highlight. I like this bronzer. This highlight is actually pretty decent. It's a gold highlight. I don't really wear gold. And this blush is a nudie blush, so I'm going to be keeping this stack, which is the Snow Kiss Prize. So there's Snow Kiss Prize and Peppermint Mocha. So I'm keeping that one. This one here, and then this one here. So I really like this blush, but I know, just want to see. I just want to see something. Okay, so those are practically similar. I have this one and that I will never use. So this one is going in the declutter pile. I don't need it anymore, but these three I think I want to keep. So I'm going to keep this stack, which is Frosty, Sleigh Bells, and Shimmering. And then this one is in the stack NYE, Decked Out, and Mistletoe. So this one is being decluttered. And let's come back to my maybes. So I'm decluttering 17 things so far. So this is in the shade Champagne Pop. I need to be realistic with myself. Will I use this? Let's see. I don't know. We'll come back to it. This one is in the shade Kitten Baby. And let's swatch this. I can't even see anything. Like, it doesn't even look like it's... Ah, why is this so hard, guys? And this is the Freestyle Highlight in the shade Mean Money and Hustler Baby. So, Mean Money, Hustler Baby. Okay, let's do this swatched right next to this Becca one. And if they look really similar, I'm only going to keep one. Like, what do you think? Are those the same? They look the same. Like, this one does have a bit more golder undertone than this one, so I am going to keep the Fenty Beauty one, and I'm going to declutter the Becca Champagne Pop. I never reach for it. I never reach for it. So, and then let's compare these two. No, I'm gonna keep the deeper one, which is in the shade Rich Amber. Ah, dropping everything. I'm gonna keep the deeper shade just because I don't have a lot of deep bronzers, and I would like to add some versatility to my collection. So I'm gonna keep Rich Amber, and I'm going to declutter Rosewood. The tone is a bit more red, and I don't really like those for me. So there's that one, and we're going to, let's see. I know I have other shades like this, and this is like, I'm digging in there, and I'm barely getting anything out. So I think I'm going to declutter that. So that brings my total up to 20 things I am decluttering. And in total, let me get my handy dandy little book out here. So I had 94 items, 94 cheek items in total, counting the palettes, and I got rid of 20. So I have 74 blushes, bronzers, highlights, and eyeshadow palettes. I feel like that's a little bit more manageable. I'm grateful that I got rid of this much. I didn't know how this was going to turn out, but I probably will do another declutter just because now that I've whittled things down and things that I'm still not using, I am honestly extremely proud of myself. I got rid of 20 things. I had less than 100, so now I've got less than 75. So I don't know. I feel a little excited. Let me actually go look in my collection and see if I have anything hiding. I did have a few things hiding. I had one palette, has 2 bronzers, 2 blushes, and 2 highlights. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Collection. 2 blushes. Just stunning. These 2 highlights, I could probably mix them together and make them work, but on their own, probably not so much. And then these 2 bronzers. So I am going to be keeping this. And then I have 2 blushes that I haven't even opened yet, but we'll open them together. I have the Ulta Beauty Mineral Blush and the Flushed Blush. And the Flush Blush formula is in the shade Cotton Candy. And you can take it out. There's an easy pull thing there. So here's what this one looks like. keeping this. So, and this one is in the shade Tiger Lily from the Mineral Blush. And this one here, my fingers have so much product on them, like I can't even see what the thing looks like. So we're gonna swatch it right here. This one I think is gonna be decluttered, so that brings my decluttering up to 21, and keeping, I had 74, so 76 cheek products and 21 I'm decluttering. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like decluttering videos, give it a thumbs up. I have done my eyeshadow palettes and my cheek palettes. I really need to do face products and lip products, like really bad. And maybe I can do like a miscellaneous eye product one. And then at the end of everything, I'm more than happy to do a like collection reveal if you guys are interested. So please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're interested in any of those videos, and I'll see y'all later.